I think like from the last video I did with like uni and whatever, I realized that like this hyper independence of mine is like not a trauma response, but see, I don't ask people for help because I don't trust them, right? Growing up, I was not really in an environment where if someone said they will do something, that I could like believe, yes, they're gonna do something, right? I think oftentimes like my parents would say, hey, more specifically my father would say, hey, we're gonna do X, and then it never happens, right? Like example, I have a brother who is on the spectrum, and he and I went to the same high school just for the very fact that I was at the high school. The high school that we went to had no resources for him. I didn't want him to go, but parents had said like, because I am there, that it'll be easier for him. Fine. The problem occurred when I eventually left the country to go to uni. There was no one there, and I remember calling my parents, say, have you called the school to see how many credits is he gonna graduate on time? And it's not until, so here, I don't know how it works in the US, like I think it's also June, but that doesn't matter. What matters is it wasn't until June, the 11th hour, that they called the school to be like, oh, like, does Ronce have enough credits? But I told them since the beginning of the school year, and because of that, he did not end up graduating on time, right? And I'm like, oh my god, if only I had like called, if only I was there, if only I was in the country. You see how this is very I, right? And it's kind of sad. It's like, if you cannot even trust your parents, if they say their yes is yes and their no is no, I have difficulty trusting like other people when it comes to this, right? So I just learned that it's better for me to do it, or no one else is gonna do it. Same thing comes with forms with school. If I don't do it, nobody is gonna do it. When it came to stuff like during my leave, like again, right, this acne scarring, when I said that like I was given trouble for it like before, some of the trouble was coming from my parents too, right? They just said it's because I'm not washing my face, that's why my face is like this, it's because I don't take care of my face, this and this, right? I had to do the research myself. This is when I was still like a minor. Was in high school? Yeah, I was in high school this time, right? To figure it out. And then once I found out like what I needed, I then had to, figure out the money to go and afford it, right? The reason why I bring it up is because they say, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and they never do, right? And so I think those are pretty tame examples, but I learned that, and the thing again, right, through therapy, I thought it was all woo-woo with this one of like, oh my god, like, cause your parents this or that, that's why you're like that, but I think it's because I do study this, right? When you're younger, there's something so fundamental about that relationship that you have with your parents, and oftentimes, like, it would be my siblings and I, right? I don't want to get too much into that, but like when I left to the US, I said, oh my gosh, like, I'm leaving my children, right? That was the one that pains me the most about this hyper independent stuff, because like, in a sense, when it comes to my siblings, I still have to be involved with it even as I'm here, because like, if I do not do it, my parents will not do it, right? I got my brother into a program for people who are on the spectrum, hoping that my parents will be able to take the reins, because this is after he finally graduated, hallelujah, from the high school, to help him get the program, to get into like another program, or to get into uni or college. Nothing. So guess who had to intervene? Me. However, I cannot continue doing this anymore. I can't like continue doing this because I have a headache, and I do think it's contributed to the fact that I'm thinking about how can I do this all by myself and not ask nobody for help, right? I remember I took this heavy fan, right? I'm not a strong guy. My bench is only like 115 pounds. I don't know how heavy this fan was. It was heavy as anything. I carried it in the sun. The sun's beating me, right? How many minutes I walked? 20 minutes to my house because I couldn't call my friend up, even though we offered, right? Because I was like, I don't trust you, right? This is horrible, right? And it's like a trauma response, because like, and again, I don't like these words, but I have to use these words as to communicate what I'm on about, right? What am I gonna do about it? Well, I'm forcing myself to ask for help, which sucks, but I'm happy now though that like I'm around people the boy I'm talking to right now, they're aware that I will not ask for help. I will not ask for the help. So they keep pushing, even though they like no, right? And it does help me to be like, okay, like it's safe. Like I'm not at home. But no, yeah, this hyper independence, like, oh, I can do it by myself, it's paraded like a good thing. It's not a good thing, right? It's like, I'm not saying to be codependent. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying to be dependent on somebody else. But if you think that you are going to like run the whole world by yourself, you're going to lose your mind, as I'm losing my mind here, right? I don't know how many classes I'm even taking anymore, right? I don't know how much job I'm jobbing anymore. I don't know how much work I'm working, how much extracurricular I'm doing, because I said I could do it all by myself, and look at the mess I find myself in, right? So this is definitely something that needs to be fixed if you care about yourself, if you care about your life, right? And that's all I wanted to say, besties.